But now the boom is off, I can put this window in finally, which means that the damp and stuff won't get into the cab, which we've already done. So I've got to put some bonding agent on the cab first and then put the glass in. Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Now, if you're new around here, you won't have seen this. But if you're returning, you would have seen this. Now, we've made quite a bit of progress. I've got the front glass in, I've got the rear glass-ish in, door glass in, and all the cab back together, and it's looking much better. It's quite rough and ready and is in need, but I wanted to have a catch up before we get into what we're doing in this video. So, for those of you who are regular on YouTube, you probably know who this guy is, Matt Armstrong. Now, I'll bring up him because of an important reason. So, he built his channel from repairing crash damaged cars. He buys a lot of them through Copart, such and such, bloody bloody blah. That's lead me to think, what if I could do the same, but with tractors? Because I'm not a massive car fan. I've got a car, but I'm not a massive fan of them. I just think it's just a car. So, that brings me on to another subject. So he buys everything through Copart, which is good for cars, but not so much for tractors. Now, to buy insurance write-off tractors is a little bit more difficult than cars. There's not quite as many of them about, obviously, because there's less tractors. However, you can get them through a company called Adam Hewitt. Now, it's basically the equivalent of Copart, but for agricultural machines and bits and bobs like that. Now, on here is a John Deere Telehandler. You probably saw it in the thumbnail. Much like mine, but it's an insurance write-off, so it's Cat N or Cat S, and you can get them relatively cheap. Now, my biggest question to you lot is, would you watch it and would you want to see that? Because there's no point in me spending thousands of pounds on buying insurance write-off tractors or telehandlers or machinery if nobody wants to see that. But if you do want to see it, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know whether you would enjoy that and whether you want to see more of repairing tractors and fixing insurance write-off machinery, because I enjoy that, but of course it's not what I enjoy, it's what you enjoy. So that's just kind of my thought, really. So make sure you do let me know in the comment section, because I do need to know, and it would be interesting to know how many of you would watch that versus whether that's just a naive thought inside of my head. Now, before I get too carried away talking about my next machine, because the old general, my wife, or my future wife, gets very annoyed at my machine obsessions, along with my tool obsessions. I obviously have this machine to finish off before she'll let me buy another one, I hope. So the cab is pretty much thereabouts, minus a few things, but we will be painting this panel and the door in the next video probably. Main focus of today is to get all of that headstock apart and get the boom off of the machine. I need to get it off to fit this window, because obviously in the way, and even if you lift it up it's still in the way there. So I want to get that in and get the roof on and headlining in this video. So let's just do that, shall we? I'm going to get on with taking the headstock apart. Right, first bolt to remove is this one. One bolt out. pin out. Next two is this on top. Off the outside.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not woulda, shoulda, or could. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good day, no it's great. Everything I prayed for didn't come in late. I got all I need and I didn't have to wait. Ask me if you love me, you didn't hesitate. Turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day.
My plan is to get that on there. Interestingly, someone's already done what I'm about to do, which is do a lot of welding in there to try and take up the slack that's in it, which is a little bit annoying. Right, next up is to try and get the pin out of there, which is going to be difficult. It's been half mullered already. Interesting. Right, that's that out. Now I can boom back in. I've got that ram back in there. I'm going to cut this blade off it. It's annoying someone's welded it. Be a bit careful of these public pipes.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not what I shoulda or could. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do
Right then, boys and girls. The boom was an absolute pain to get off, so we'll get on to that in a minute. But now the boom is off, I can put this window in finally, which means that the damp and stuff won't get into the cab, which we've already done. So I've got to put some bonding agent on the cab first and then put the glass in. Oh God. And of course everything's a bit difficult to get into without making an almighty mess. Now before this telehandler I hadn't bonded in a single window, and now I'm on to my third one, so hopefully I'll master it this time.
do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good day, no it's great. Everything I prayed for didn't come in late. I got all I need and I didn't have to wait. Ask me if you love me, you didn't hesitate. Turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day.
My hand's going dead. Oh no. Right, I think that's the whole thing buttoned up, which I'll show you. Right, so just want a V, maybe a bit straighter than that, but all the way around, ready for the glass to go in. Right, moving swiftly on, I'm going to go get the glass, and we'll try and get it in without breaking it. This is the most difficult part. Make sure you don't break the window. Especially when you're on your own, like I am. Right. Make sure you got some masking tape with you. And then, just lift it up on some suckers, which you put your whole life's trust into. Few taps into place, move it up as far as you can get it, and then just masking tape the hell out of it. Still, it's one thing to drop, which is a bit of a problemo. So from the inside, she's in. Not necessarily the neatest job in the world, but it's all stuck, which is the most important thing. She's all there. Obviously, it's a bit dirty when I've been touching it, and I'm applying masking tape. But that is the side window in, front window in. That window we never took out, and the door window's in, and I've primed the door and this panel. Thought I'd show you the door, which I put into primer today. Pretty wonderful. Pretty good. Like I say, that'll be ready for some paint fairly soon. And also the side panel on the cab by the door. That's all in primer, looking wonderful. So that's a good job done. So yeah, they're ready for some paint. A little bit earlier today, so the cab is there, or thereabouts, minus a few last little things, like the roof. I'm picking up the LED lights for the roof tomorrow, which means that the roof can go back on. And then the whole cab that I've painted can get sheeted, and then we can work on the rest of the bits of cab that are left to do, which is not actually that much. It's just the yellow, but I've just got to grind it, prime it, paint it yellow, and then that is the cab completely done, and then we can move on to the rest of it. Now we'll talk about the boom in a second, but God, that was an absolute nightmare, that boom. It didn't want to come off very easy, and once we got it off, the boom pipes, which are the pipes that do the crowd, like not the crowd, the in and the out for the boom, was an absolute nightmare, like really bad. So on the subject of the boom, I managed to get this, don't know what you call it, but out of it. Obviously this end has been completely chesneyed. Don't know how well you can see this, but like it's just been welded, bodged. It's actually quite bent, but it still works.
And then this side has obviously been snapped at some point, re-welded. This should feel quite free in there, but it's solid. And again, pins have been butchered and welded and whatever, which is a little bit of a disappointment, particularly. So this is the pin for this top bit, which obviously has been butchered, and I mean that is just no good for nothing. So the plan is with this is I was tempted to get it line bored to do a kind of proper job, but I can't afford that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the welder out and we're going to weld up where that's floppy. So get rid of that essentially. And the same this side, so both sides, get that so that sits nice in there snug. Obviously tidy up the end of this pin where it's been butchered and tidy that end up where it's been butchered. So we'll remake that, remanufacture that, and then that'll be solid. That goes into the ram that's in the boom, which is out there, which we'll get some new bushes for, hopefully, if we can find one that fits. Now the other pins are a little bit worn there, but I think I can salvage that, a bit like I did with the baler shaft. This centre pin here, it actually isn't too bad, so I need to look at whether you can get new bushes for that, because I think that might just be a solid bush, in which case we can just get a new one. If not, to be fair, for the amount of movement that's in that, I'd be pretty happy to leave that. This, I think this pin goes through. Sloppy as anything, so that is going to need new bush in there, but we can order one of them and get that in there, make that good again. And then the headstock, which is out there somewhere in the dark, which we won't go and look at, also needs a little bit of welding, but it's not as bad as it could have been. So that leaves just the boom, which was absolute pain. I'm not sure how well you're going to see this. I'll give me a phone torch as well on the job, shall I? What was that? Right. So this is the boom pipe. Now, how you're supposed to get to them two pipes in there and undo them, I'm not entirely sure. And it weighs an absolute ton, way more than I thought. So the pin bushes in there are pretty good. That's all good. I just need to clean out, and that can be salvaged. Not too bad. Probably gonna have to put new pipes on them, to be fair, because they're a bit butchered now, and I think they were leaking anyway, or the ram leaks. I'm not sure which one, but whichever one it is needs sorting. So I think the plan is to take that, unbolt these two, and just pull that out all in one with the rest of the boom, or the inner boom, should I say, so that we can rebush that as well, because that would be useful. Right, as is always the way, I just spoke to the camera for about 20 minutes and none of it's recorded. Wonderful. So I can't really remember what I was saying, but I just will start somewhere. So the roof is ready to go back on. The boom you've obviously seen isn't ideal. We got this window in, which is wonderful. Obviously the roof isn't on, but that's to come. So it's something along the lines of the fact that although to you lot it hasn't seemed like much has got done, it took an awful long time and it was an absolute pain. So that is all for today. A bit more of a short one. I am debating going down to one video a week, so let me know your thoughts on that. Do you still enjoy watching 2 a week, or would you prefer one longer one? Because I don't know, it's just a thought. Along with the old insurance jobbies, let me know on that one in the comment section. But yeah, so in the next video we're just going to focus on the cab. I want to get the cab finished. I want to get the yellow painted on the cab, get it primed, and then get the yellow done. And just try and get the cab complete, you know, get the doors back on it, get it completely airtight as such, get the roof on, get the lights in. I'm going to pick them up tomorrow from Haynes. I missed a bit there, which is quite annoying, but we'll just ignore that for now. So that's my plan, is just to get the cab completely buttoned up, because it's the easiest thing to sheet up when I'm doing the rest of it. So I can just sheet it with one big sheet, won't get any overspray or anything, and it'll just be easier that way, I think, or I hope. So that's the plan. It's just now focus on the cab. Now I've got the boom off. Obviously the boom needs a lot of work, but that can wait until we've got the cab done, I think. Get the cab done, and then at least, you know, it can go outside. If it gets wet, it doesn't matter because the cab's dry. So it's not far off, really. It's quite nice. Obviously I drove it earlier just to get outside, to get the boom off. It's just such a nicer place to be. So it's a bit dirty now, I need to clean, along with the glass, which is completely filthy. But it's definitely better than it was. And then the lift ram needs some new seals, ideally, which I might do as I've got it off. I would take it somewhere, but I don't like paying people to do stuff. So why would I do that when I could do it myself? So that's that window in. And yeah, pretty much that's it for today. So, shorter video, but it's always the way. There's always going to be the odd short one mixed in with the long one. So on that note, with the wonderful baler in the background, which is mint, ready there just for the winter. That actually was a salvage jobby, really. Scammed on Facebook. Let me know if you'd like to see the Adam Hewitt insurance jobs, because I think that would be quite good. I think that would make some good content. So let me know that in the comments, and then make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell, because you'll be notified of my videos every Tuesday and Friday, and sometimes they're a bit longer than this one, but there we go, that's life. So I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, ring the little bell, and I'll catch you in the next one, where I promise you we're going to get some more progress done, and a lot of progress with any luck, because it's a little bit slow, but that's just the way it is with these sort of things. I don't want to rush it, I just want to get it done properly and once, because who knows what the future has for the old gear. Right, I will see you in the next video.